in the mind of a PlayStation fan, nothing is wrong with Sony. Sony is doing great. Sony is killing it when it comes to the console sales, when it comes to the software sales. In their mind, they believe that Sony is doing absolutely nothing wrong. You see, they have convinced themselves that Sony is not in trouble. They have convinced themselves that is business as usual at Sony. Sony is okay. Sony is, a matter of fact, is growing. Nothing Sony is doing is bad. Nothing Sony is doing is wrong, and they are not in trouble in any way, shape, or form. However, they would say the only gaming company is doing something wrong is Xbox. Xbox is not selling. That is what they would say. They would say they are investing in Fire Stick. They are not selling games. This is the talking point that they would use if it is you ask them, is anything wrong with Sony? Now, if it is, you start to point out evidence and facts about things Sony are doing today that they would have never done in their long gaming history. For example, never before Sony would have put one of their first-party titles on a rival platform. We are talking about one of their IPs. What am I talking about? Lego Horizon. Lego Horizon is a game that is produced from Guerrilla Games, and that game is coming out day and date on the Nintendo Switch. So I asked the Sony fans, why is Sony doing that? Why did Sony decide to put Lego Horizon in 2024 day and date on the Nintendo Switch? And don't come with the argument that it's a kiddie game, that's why they did it. No, Sackboy was a kiddie game, Ratchet and Clank was a kiddie game, and there were many other kiddie games that Sony would have published, that they could have put on a Nintendo platform, but they didn't. But why now in 2024? It's very clear that things has changed. But it's not only that fact we could point out to them to show them that the Sony of old is no more, that this is a new generation Sony. Remember the Sony where you could have only played Sony games on a Sony platform? That is no more. Those days are dead. You don't believe me? Well, I hope you can believe this guy.
Potential driver is the first party title generation. Because in the past, as you all know, we wanted to popularize console, and the title was something, and the first-party title main purpose was to make the hardware or the console popular, right? It is true, right? But there's a synergy to it. So if we have a strong first-party content, not only with our console, but also other platforms like computers, and the first-party can be grown with the multi-platforms, and that.
So did you hear it? It is their prerogative to grow the first-party PlayStation AAA exclusive. You see, it was not growing; it was stagnant. Most of those first-party AAA games that were exclusive to the PlayStation platform was not growing. That is clear. That is why they decided to put these games onto the PC with the hope that they get a new audience.
Can help operating profit to improve. So that's another one that we want to practically work on. I personally think there are opportunities out there for improvement of margin. So I would like to go aggressive on improving our margin performance.
So again, the old talking point that Sony fans would have been using, that, Sony don't need PC. Sony, is growing, enough, and they are just good. That is not the case. It's very clear. It's very clear that now, in order to grow operating profits, in order to grow the platform, Sony is now in need of PC gamers. They are now in need of PC fans. Hence the reason all of their games are going to PC. Now, one of the things that the PlayStation fans would have boasted and said, you know what? We don't mind these games coming to PC. It is coming after 2 or 3 years. So it doesn't matter. They are getting our sloppy seconds. This is what was the talking point. This is how they decided to move the goalposts so that they can cope with the fact that here what the same thing that Xbox is doing, this is exactly what Sony will be doing as time goes on. It's just Sony is taking a little while longer to admit that guess what, their fans are not enough. It is not enough. They are not paying enough bills. These fans are not purchasing enough for the higher ups to say, you know what, we don't need to put these games and these platforms anywhere else. Who could remember the old slogan when they said only on PlayStation? You all remember that? Well, as you can see in the image here. Well, this image is a lie because every single game on this image has gone to PC. Every single one. Now tell me something, Sony fans. If everything is okay with Sony and Sony has nothing to worry about, they are not in any kind of trouble in the gaming industry, then why over the years they have been putting all of their first party AAA games onto the PC? We are talking about everyone. And as the years went by, we are seeing that the length of time that these games are staying exclusive to a PlayStation platform, it's shortening. You don't believe me? Look at this list I came up with here. Let me start off with Ghost of Tsushima. That is the longest first-party game ever stayed onto the PlayStation platform. That stayed for 3 years and 10 months. What about Days Gone? Well, that stayed for 2 years and 1 month. We are looking at God of War Ragnarok. That stayed on a PlayStation platform for 1 year and 10 months. What about Horizon Forbidden West? That stayed onto a PlayStation platform for 2 years and 1 month. And as you look at even Last of Us, that stayed on for 2 years, you continue to go down to Spiderman 2. It is the fastest a PlayStation first-party AAA game ever came to PC. Only 15 months. Wow, 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 wow. I mean, Sony fans, in order to celebrate this game coming in 15 months, let me play you a wonderful song named Spiderman.
Spiderman, Spiderman, because whatever Spider can, the way, anytime, can you see, just like look out, there comes the Spider-Man, 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 I can't go on it, there comes the Spider-Man, there comes the Spider-Man, I'm a go, there comes the Spider-Man,
Yes, I love it. You know the question I'm going to ask you, Sony fans. If everything is okay with PlayStation, then why did they see the need to port Spider-Man 2 onto the PC platform? And not only that, but this is the fastest game that ever left a PlayStation platform and came to PC. So in other words, Sony is saying that the PlayStation is just the PlayStation platform, the PS5, the PS4, what have you. It is just a box for timed exclusive. Wow, you see, you guys would have, boasted that Xbox is bringing their games day and date to the PC, and Sony is not doing that. But it's only a matter of time now until Sony brings all their games day and date to the PC. Now, why do we say that? You see, we say that because they saw the success of bringing their games day and date when it comes to Helldivers 2. They saw that success. Helldivers 2 was massively successful when it released on PC and PlayStation 5 simultaneously. In the same breath, they saw the disaster that Square Enix got themselves in when they released their flagship title months after on PC. When the hype was died down, when there were no more interest in the game, they saw the disaster that was Final Fantasy 16. So now we understanding there are evidence to show that when it is you release your game simultaneously on the PC, you maximize your profits, you maximize your player base. So why wouldn't Sony do that? This is why they are bringing this game even the earliest they could ever brought it to PC. But another reason why Sony would bring this to PC is because they need to do it. They need to bring it to PC. We saw the Insomniac leaks. You all remember what we saw in those Insomniac leaks? We saw that it takes a huge amount of money to produce one of these first-party AAA games. We are talking about over 200 million, over 300 million. So as you can see on this chart here, you can see that Spider-Man 2 took over 300 million to produce. Now, after selling that 10.5 million units, they basically got a profit of 75 million. And quite frankly, Sony's not happy with that profit. Sony want more profit. As you can see, the profits that they made with Miles Morales. You see, Miles Morales, they just took the same assets from the PlayStation 4 version and they just, basically changed the skin of the game itself. And because of that, they had high returns because they did not have to do much in Miles Morales. All they had to do was just swap a few, characters, swap a few cities and so forth. And these Sony fans bought it up, although it was basically a DLC. They made a lot of money on Miles Morales. But Spider-Man 2, you're seeing here that it didn't have a high profit margin. And because of that, they want games that can give them a high profit margin all around. And PC would definitely help with that. So we seeing, despite these guys going on change.org and petitioning Sony not to port any games to PC, do you guys understand what I'm saying? They went on change.org to petition Sony not to put games on the PC. These ponies are sick. But despite what they are doing, it's very clear that Sony is in trouble. That is why they are doing this. That is why they are porting to the PC. That is why we are seeing different things compared to how they was back in the day. They are doing. So although Sony fans would insist it's only Microsoft, the evidence, the facts is showing that Sony is right there with them. So let me hear what you thought about this discussionary video. Now, I didn't even play an intro in this video. This video just went straight forward into the discussion. Like I like to do some videos like this just to have a little more in-depth discussion on a particular topic. Let me know what you thought about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.